Hey there, it's Roslyn here and welcome back to my channel. This video is featuring the brand new to the market ink Navigator kit. Now this kit is made by Multiplicity Crafts and it is sold exclusively at the Not Too Shabby shop. I'll have the link in the description box down below. And you're going to want to keep watching to see how I use this tool, because this tool is going on special for Black Friday at the Not Too Shabby shop. The kit comes with the ink navigating tool, and this is where you're going to attach your favorite ink pads. Now this comes with a Velcro attachment, very well designed. That Velcro is on there nice and sturdy, and it is also nice and lightweight. So that's where you're going to be putting your ink pads. And they do sell the Velcro in the shop as well. Okay, and then we've got the ink docking station. Now this is going to stay on your craft desk, and you're going to have your ink pad sit there with the lid off, ready for you to ink with. I'm going to show you here how to attach that ink pad in a minute or two. So the benefits of this kit, as they say on the package, no more inky fingers. This keeps your fingers away from the ink pad, which I love because I tend to get ink all over my hands, and ink on my hands usually transfers to my card. It has this Velcro, and you can put this on multiple ink pads and you can easily interchange between them. No more awkward fumbling. And it streamlines the inking process. So you always have your ink ready to go. It's easy on the hands and wrist when you're using this. If you have any mobility issues or any strength issues of holding things, this really eliminates that. I know I have carpal tunnel sometimes, so we're not twisting, we're just stamping with this tool. And it's great because this goes really well with any stamp platform out there to do mass producing and other things with the stamp platform. So let's get this started, and I will attach a ink pad to this. So I've got my favorite ink here. This is the Gina K Designs Amalgam ink, and I love to use this when I want to cope its color. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to keep that on there. We're going to take this sticky backing off of our Velcro piece. We're going to stick that right down on our ink pad, give it a good press, and there we have it. It is now stuck to our Navigator tool. Now, if we want to use a different ink pad, this easily detaches and we can go to our next ink pad. So let's get our embossing ink out and show you how that works. But I love to use Versamark watermark stamp pad here for all my embossing. So let's get another strip on here and we'll show you how easy it is to interchange them. So here is a package of 5 extra refill strips. So here we go. And what I'll do is I'm going to peel off this and attach this right to my tool. Remove the backing and press that down. And there we go. We have it ready to go. So let's get inking up a project to try this out. So I know a lot of colorists like to do 1-layer cards. And if that's something that you like, this is the perfect tool. I've got my Gina K Amalgam ink on here. I'm going to take my lid off, set it down on my docking station, and get ready to build my card. So I've got a couple birthday themed stamp sets. I'm going to be stamping my first layer, which is the foreground, which means that everything that you stamp first is going to be in the front. So I've got my gnome here, and I'm actually going to move him back here. And if you can't tell, I'm making a Slimline Design, which is, I have this piece of paper at 3¼ by 8¼ for my Slimline Design. And I'm going to line up all these cute cupcakes. And actually I want the ones with the candles up front. I'm using my stamp platform here. I'm going to pick up those stamps and I'm going to get inking them. And I'm just going to give them another stamp. Now I want to go ahead and mask these images. And I'm using Post-it note paper. And this Post-it note is sticky all on the back. Now that I have all my masks in place, I'm going to re-stamp this. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut these out. So now I have my first set of masks down, and I'm going to add some more cupcakes. So let's see how we're going to build our scene. And we'll probably put another one behind there, so we'll leave that open. Just going to move this down a bit so I can stamp off the page. Another thing you can do when you're stamping like this is cut a larger sheet of paper, stamp it, and then you can cut down the panel so it looks like it's going off the page. And we'll get stamping again. So we're going to ink it up. See how this is just an up and down motion? There's no twisting. There's no dropping of the ink pad. I'm going to give that a little bit more ink. So I'm going to continue building my scene here. And as I do that, I wanted to mention that there's a sale on this for Black Friday for the entire weekend at the Not Too Shabby shop. All you need to do is enter the code BLACKFRIDAY20 at checkout, and you will receive 20% off the Ink Navigator kit. I purchased mine on the day that it was released. I love supporting small businesses, and this was a great way to support not only Multiplicity Crafts, but also the Not Too Shabby shop. Be sure to check out the description box below to get the link right to the Ink Navigator kit. So I flipped this stamp around and I want to stamp this ink splatter black background, but I don't want to do it in black. So let's go ahead and change our ink pad. I'll put the lid on this one, put that off to the side. And I'm just going to wipe down the docking station. And I'm going to bring in this VersaFine Clear ink, which I love these pigment inks, in Purple Delight. And I already have my backing on there. And we're going to ink that up. here. Love how that looks. And I'm just going to move this down. And there we have our nicely splattered background. So back to voiceover mode. My kids decided that they wanted to watch TV while I was crafting, and that's totally fine, but I don't think you want to hear whatever they were watching in the background. So as you can see, I have my panel colored and I did some ink blending on the bottom. If you want to see the coloring, I can do a separate video for that, but this video is all about using the Ink Navigator tool. So I'm just going to heat emboss that with some colored embossing powder, and I did not like how that turned out. The embossing powder that I was using left a bit of a residue, so I simply cut this banner out and I'm inking that stamp up again with the Versamark embossing ink, and I'm going to be using the white embossing powder for that. So after I get that all heated up, I'm going to blend the same colors that I had on the bottom of my card on this banner die. And this is a quick way to match up any elements of your card by using ink and white embossing powder. We don't have to wait for this Distress Oxide ink to dry to be able to stamp our Versamark on top and have the embossing powder not stick. I'm just going to take this microfiber cloth here and buff some of that ink off so that it's nice and bright for my sentiment. And I have that sentiment on some foam tape here. And I'm going to work on the inside of my card now. I don't always use my stamp platform, especially with these VersaFine Clair inks, because they stamp so beautifully. But I do often like to check that my stamp is all inked up on my block, and you will see me in many videos flipping my stamp block to see that if I've inked that up properly. But with the Ink Navigator kit, I can see that right away as I'm stamping. And you can see I used two colors there, and it was easy to go between the two colors with this this tool. So I love how that one layer card turned out, and how the Navigator tool really helped me get in the groove for my one layer stamping. But I wanted to show you another way that you can use this tool, and that's by making multiple cards. So sort of a mass production line here going on. I have 4 colors of the VersaFine Clair ink and this Happy Birthday stamp set. And I have 4 panels that are cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to continually stamp the same stamp on different panels. So without moving the stamp, I can just replace the paper, stamp down, and use my Ink Navigator kit to quickly go back and forth without having to put any lids back on, without having to twist my hand to get that ink on my stamps. So I will go to the next portion of this rainbow and stamp my next color. The next color is a nice pink color from VersaFine Clair. Get that lined up. And of course, change out my ink pad. Super easy to do. So now we're on to the next step. So again, we're going to stamp the first card and go on to the second, third, and fourth card that I have here today. And you could even increase that number if you'd like. But something surprising happened in the end of me making this card that you'll see why the 4 cards worked out perfectly for what I needed. I'm going to get the third portion of that rainbow here, and I'm going to switch out my ink pad once again to the Purple Delight and go through stamping on each one of my card panels. So for mass producing, this tool is great for something that like that, but also layering stamps. This would be a great tool to use with your layering stamps, especially if you wanted to do multiple cards of the same set. So if you have a stamp platform in this kit, it's going to be streamlining that process. And for the last part of this rainbow, I'm going to be stamping that in the blue and switching that ink pad. So easy and so quick. Now, the thing that I discovered by using this method is that these VersaFine clear inks stay wet for about 5 minutes. So to test it out, I tried some clear embossing powder on top. And sure enough, since the process of the stamping was so fast, I was able to clear heat emboss these, which is a lot of fun. So it just gives that something extra to this very simple birthday card. I was pleasantly surprised, and I'll be using that technique much more often. So this way I had stamped all of my card panels. I didn't have to take a break in between to emboss them. They were still wet by the time I got the 4 panels done. And just about finishing up this card. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you'll check out the Not Too Shabby shop and take a look at the Ink Navigator kit. Like I said, it's a small business and it's a great way to support them with their startup. So here I've got all my 4 panels and they all have the clear embossing on them. So I'll show you how I finished up these simple birthday cards. I dressed it up with a little red twine and some Nuvo crystal drops, and also trimmed that with my Distress Edge trimmer. And here is the first card I made, and I really enjoyed the process of making both of these cards with my Ink Navigator kit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.